Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. We've got a great new sponsor here at Bleav In 76ers podcast. And I got to say, I love betting with my friends on pretty much anything, sports, games, you name it. And that's what the Kutt App allows us to do. The Kutt App is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's legal in 40 plus states. Kutt has customizable odds, tracking capabilities, and an entire social network with group chats, user profiles, and rewards. And the best part is, all payments are on the app as well. No need for Venmo. So, to get started today, use our promo code BLEAV76ers. You can find that right there for a 10% welcome deposit bonus. And that promo code is BLEAV76ers, BLEAV 76ers. The Kutt App. Put your money where your mouth is. I look forward to seeing you on the app. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother, Teja Dash. Guys, so rough road trip. We'll get into all of that, but good time of the year. We got college basketball going on. We're getting hit into Sweet 16 next weekend. But before we get into Sixers talk, I have to ask how the status of everyone's brackets so far. I know Teja was done day one of the brackets. Eric, how's your bracket looking so far?
I'm in great shape. I do two pools, and I'm leading in both. And I have the highest possible points in both. So I'm still in good. I believe out of the 16 teams, I believe I have 13 left. 13 Dang. Out of 16 I got right.
That's really good.
I didn't even check.
In both.
Wow. Who do you have winning the whole thing?
I think it was Purdue in one and Houston in the other one.
Okay.
I had Auburn, Kentucky, and one of them was Kansas. The other one I picked Gonzaga to beat Kansas. And it was Auburn, Kentucky. Who was the other one? I don't remember. Maybe it was, I know it was in the same well, I didn't even pick Michigan State to go. Usually I do. I didn't pick them. I didn't think they could beat North Carolina in Charlotte. But it was, Baylor? I think it was whoever's playing Baylor. I think it might have been Baylor. I think I picked Baylor to win. Yeah. Over Clemson. Yes, that was it. In one bracket. So that's what it was. In one bracket, I picked Clemson to beat Baylor, and the other one I didn't. In the other bracket, I picked Kansas over Gonzaga. So that's where my 13th. In the other one, both of them, I picked Auburn, Kentucky. So they were in both brackets, and then the other one was Auburn. One was Baylor, one was Kansas. But yeah, I got the other 13 right. I got 13 out of 16 in two brackets.
If it wasn't for the SEC, you'd be dominating that right now.
How many 16 do you have, Marcus?
Oh, man. I think 11 out of 16.
Yeah, I have 11 too.
But you want to tell Eric how your March Madness started? And you haven't watched a game since.
How do you think I lost? How do you think I got booted?
Well, Kentucky.
Yeah. Bums.
Yeah. One of my sons had Kentucky going all the way, and I was like, he's done. He did well everywhere else. He actually is like in third place right now because he did well everywhere else, but his Final Four and championship team is done. So if someone else picks a winner, he can't win.
Yeah.
So he got to hope that no one picks a winner. And we have we have 4 different teams winning it. I'm the only one that has Purdue in our family one. A few Houstons, UConn, and Arizona.
Oh. Yeah, in the bracket pool, I'm the only one who has Illinois. So regardless of how my bracket looks, if Illinois wins it all, then I'm set.
I had Illinois losing to UConn.
Yeah, I mean, it was by far the toughest region. That region's the toughest region.
Yeah, they could beat them.
Kentucky, man. Yeah, whatever. This is me off, dude.
Yeah, it's the first year I can't talk to him about March Madness, Eric. He's like, nah, I don't even care, man.
I'm bitter, dude.
Talking about the games.
Nah, I'm done. I'm bitter. I'm bitter about it.
Sore loser, man.
Yeah, you're
sore loser.
Big time.
I've never been out this early before. I don't think I've been out before Sweet 16 before. I think I'm always like hanging around, at least toward the way end.
I feel like you play it safe usually, though. Okay, Kentucky's not really playing it safe, man. Although a lot of experts were big fans of them. A lot of big experts were big fans of them, but I just didn't. When I saw you pick Kentucky, I was like, it's kind of
winning the championship. Only 2 people had it in our bracket. That wasn't chalk.
No, I'm saying you usually play it safe, is what I'm saying. You
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I mean, you're Mr. plus 15.5 when it comes to betting, dude. I mean, this is, it's.
Hey, man, I still claim to fame. I still picked Florida their first time they won it.
Yeah.
That Horford team, that was all mine, baby. I picked them to win it all that year. My Hall of Fame speech for March Madness will include talking about picking that Florida team. All right.
Oh man, this guy.
You had to go a long way back for that.
I did. You damn right I did.
None of those guys are playing basketball. None of those guys are playing basketball anymore.
I've won since then, but that's the one I'm most proud of.
Oh man. Well, at least you got to go to the Sixers Clippers game this weekend a major weekend, worth it. I know Kentucky may start off the weekend pretty rough. And you got to see the Sixers win in LA on Sunday. So that's good.
Yeah. Great game to go to.
Yeah. So let's begin with that one. So Sixers on the way back to Philly, and as we talked about last week, what we would be happy about with this road trip? Yeah, no, not so good. 1-4 during this road trip out west. Obviously capped off with the big win against the Clippers, the James Harden versus Sixers game. So I'm going to ask you guys, 1-4, not a lot of bright spots on this road trip, but if you guys were to look back at this 5-game stretch here, what were some of the high points and the lowest points of this trip that you guys saw the last 5 games?
I mean, the high point is the one victory that you got. I mean, I think that's the high point, that you were able to go and secure a victory in a game that most people didn't think we would win. We caught the Clippers at the right time. For us, we were able to go in there and get a victory like other teams and Hawks and Pacers have gone in there and done. So that was crucial, especially with you turning right back around and playing them again. So I think for me, the low point is just, it's like the games are starting well, but then like as the game goes on, it's just like something always happens where all of a sudden we're not the same team anymore. So we look like a team to beat these teams, and we look like a team that we're not in their league. So to me, like that level of consistency is kind of like, where is that coming from? Like, why is that we can't maintain that level of consistency game after game for 48 minutes and give ourselves the best opportunity to win?
Yeah, it's really frustrating. The high point was obviously beating the Clippers. We had good seats. We were behind the Sixer bench, so I got to see the interaction a lot, which was awesome. I love seeing that stuff. I feel like the Clippers game. I feel like it was a movie where the two guys are battling, and like the one guy gets knocked off the ledge, and you think he's like fell off the cliff, and then like he grabs onto the ledge with that one hand, tries to pull himself up. That was at the Clippers game, and then the next game was like the stomping of the foot, and then like we fell back down off the cliff again because the low point was everything else. Like Clippers was it. I'm glad we had one bright spot to hold on to. But it's not even the losses, it's the manner in which we're losing. We're getting like outclassed and beaten bad against teams. Yeah, they have good game teams on paper, but these teams are all battling to get in the playoffs. Like they've had rough seasons, all of them. I mean, they see us as like a limping antelope that they're just like tearing apart.
Yeah.
The Lakers game was in reach for some of it. I think the most winnable in game was probably that one. It was competitive for a decent amount. The other one's not even really competitive down the stretch of it. I mean, King just firmly had us all night, pretty much. Going 2-2 would have been 2-2 would have been nice, but I would even take one of three if the games were competitive and they were heartbreakers and we like lost in the last quarter or something. But I mean, blowing out the Clippers and then getting badly beat by the Kings right afterward just makes no sense. I mean, the Kings are up and down. I guess they just played the right game. I would just want us to be at least competitive for these games because the way we're playing, like down the stretch of these, are unwatchable toward the end. It's bad basketball. We have no identity without Joel whatsoever. And I get it. He's our best player, but we've played without him enough this season to at least start to get into a rhythm without him. Right? Like, so it's really frustrating. It's like the identity is Maxey throw up a million shots and hopefully you catch fire, which he did in the first quarter. But then the second, like his flame went out, we were done. We got dominated after that. So right now, the personality of our team is kind of like Tobias. Like now you see me, now you don't type thing.
Yeah, what do you make of that, Eric? I mean, so yesterday, Maxey gets 26 points first half of the game, gets 3 points second half. Tobias on Sunday against the Clippers, 19 points in the first half, I think 3 in the second half. I mean, what do you think the reason for that is? Seeing guys go off either one half or the other, and it's just not kind of being a complete game.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is we got to be honest and we got to be fair. It's hard to be the number one guy.
Yeah.
We got to get the number one guys more credit. It's hard to be that guy. That's why a lot of guys can't fill that void. Some guys are temporary fills. Some guys can do it in spurts. And that's what we have here now. Maxey's a young guy that's talented, but he's not a true number one yet. He can show you flashes. He can carry you. He can be the number one. But to maintain that consistency for a year, he's not there yet. And there's a lot of guys in this league that are really, really good that aren't there. But there is a difference between 1 and 2. There is a difference. What those guys like you can't take for granted what Joel was doing because we have been able to witness other guys. And that's just how good he is. So when you take that away, and to make up for that, you have to do it collectively, and individually, guys have to do more. And that's where the level of being able to do that has been a rocky road. Maxey's been asked to do more. Everyone's been asked to do more. So in order for it to change and the wins to come more often, that level of consistency of stepping up in the moment has to be there and it has to stay there in order for it to happen. Teams are seeing us and be like, hey, we can get them now. So, and we go, and then all of a sudden it is easy to lack some confidence when you aren't winning as much. So you lack a little confidence. You get a little timid, you get a little hesitant. There aren't guys that are doing it all the time, but there are moments when that happens. But individually, guys have to just make it happen. Collectively, they got to make it happen. Got to be better defensively. Got to be better sharing the ball. Got to be better taking care of the basketball and rebounding. And from a staff standpoint, putting guys in position to do what they do best, however that can be done. Giving consistency where guys know when their minutes are coming and they know what their expectations and manage. They'll be able to manage their expectations to be able to accomplish the things you want to accomplish and give yourself a chance in the end of games. That's why I said that was the most disappointing thing, is like great starts, then all of a sudden we're not in the games because we're not even getting to the chance. We're not even getting a chance in most games to even let it come down to the end where we're able to make some plays or get a stop or get some buckets, or Maxey can win a game for us in the last few minutes. Like we're not even getting that many opportunities for that to happen. And that's like really disappointing because of that. And I just I don't know, like, I'll give you an example. Like Joel goes down. I Bleav our first show, or maybe second show after that, we talked about, excuse me, how big of a role Paul Reed was going to have. Well, it seems to me like he might be playing less. That's how it feels. Now, I don't know why. Like, we're not in the locker room, so we don't really know why. All I know is like that level of not being consistent. I don't know how he can maintain the level of play you want him to maintain. So if I don't know who's going to play the majority of the minutes outside of maybe the key 3 guys or so, 2 guys. I don't know who's going to play the major minutes. We really don't know. So I think it's some figuring out that's going on with the staff too, figuring out what's going on with the players, but more than anything, it's guys are in and out of the lineup. Joel's out, but we still had other guys that are in and out of the lineup. I mean, Kelly's missed games and Melton's missed games. Like, we don't even know the status of Melton. We keep talking about when is Joel coming back. We don't even know when Melton's coming back, if he's coming back.
I know.
So we don't know. So it's hard to say this team should be doing A, B, and C when we have a lot of things that are unanswered. Arguably your 6 man, if not starter. One starter is 1A and 1 as far as your scoring and your dominance. That's hard. That's hard to maintain. So for the stretch, it's really the stretch of games he's been out, like how long he's been out in straight runs. Because I Bleav Giannis might have missed quite a few games this year, but he didn't have these long stretches where he's out for a long time. And one way or another, we got to do something about it, because I know I don't know how many shows ago it was, but I know I said we were hopefully I didn't speak it in existence when I was saying that we were closer to the 8th seed. And luckily Chicago seems to be happy with where they are, because they could have been making some noise right now and getting a home game, which is what we really don't need in the play-in game, is to play on the road both 2 times.
Yeah. I've noticed too lately, I think when I was at the Clippers game, I was watching, I was 10 feet away from them, so I was watching real closely. And most of the game plan now is just throw as many bodies at Maxey as possible and make other people beat him. That's what I would do. I mean, you're going to try to force Harris to score 30 points and win? It's not going to, good. Yeah, bet on that. And the Clippers did that, and other guys actually did step up that game, but that's not going to be an every night thing. I think every team knows that.
Yeah.
So,
that's people are going to give him a crowd and give him more attention and 30 plus point games in that crowd and that consistent activity coming your way.
Yeah. And they had Kawhi or George on him the entire second half. For the most part, from what I noticed.
Yeah.
Like Kawhi was his primary defender with most of the second half. And then when he was out, George would do it. And then sometimes Coffee would guard him toward the end of the when they took everyone else out. Coffee was his guard. But I mean,
they wanted a bigger guy on him.
Yeah. Yep.
It speaks to what other teams think of him if they're putting Kawhi Leonard on him. That's definitely flattery.
I would expect to see that when they play against them on Wednesday.
A continuation of that?
Yeah, just put Kawhi on from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have their own issues. I don't know if you saw Harden's comments today about their upcoming game in Philadelphia. He said we have our own issues to think about. I'm not even thinking about Philadelphia playing in Philadelphia. That's what he said. So now could be some rumblings going on in Los Angeles. Could be some things going on there. It's gonna be fun. Fireworks.
I like.
Yeah, he's not. James ain't worried about that.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes though.
Now the social media is trying to blame all their problems on George not signing the extension now.
And I've also seen the Westbrook starting to get his flowers. Actually, saying Westbrook not being there is the reason why they're having this rocky kind of stretch right now. So he's starting to get his flowers. I mean, it takes for them to lose a few games for them to give Westbrook his due.
Yeah,
I can see that. I mean, he brings something that nobody else on the team has. That energy.
Oh yeah.
Would you call Westbrook their glue guy?
He had a role, and he played it well. I mean, I don't really get into glue guy. I'll just say he's the guy that's important to what they're trying to do. He was important to what they. I mean, at the same time, he can play, and he's one of the top guys that played this game at his position. So, so for them to have that, and for him to be willing to play less, come off the bench, make a sacrifice, and give all the energy and effort.
So we kind of mentioned the long stretches without Embiid. So we did a little deep dive here. The Sixers are 13-25 without Joel Embiid. And, we're not lucky, but, we've had a lot of long stretches without Embiid in his career in Philadelphia. So I kind of looked back at those stretches. And this right now, this 13-5 record without Joel Embiid is by far the worst record we've had in a season without Joel since his first year playing in 2016-2017, and that's process days. So my question is, we've had teams that maybe not be as talented as the team we have right now, and they had better records than we had without Joel Embiid this year. What do you attribute this to? I know we kind of talked about a lot of other guys being out as well, but this team is a pretty talented team on paper, even without Joel Embiid. And the fact to say we're losing these losing games that we shouldn't be getting blown out by, and 13-25 is just staggering because when we had without Embiid before, we were rallying off some wins and actually having better records than this. So it's just kind of crazy that it's 13-25. What do you guys think this is? What the reason is behind this?
I mean, first, and we spoke about it. I do think that other injuries and guys being in and out of the lineup that are, especially guys that are starting, has been a hindrance to winning games. I think that, and I think also making the trade and changing players this season. The two trades you made, the two primary moves at the beginning of the year, and then at the trade deadline, you have a lot of new and moving pieces that are different from where we were in early October and where we were in late October and November. So that could play into it too. It's just it's not like this. You have a group that's been together for a year or 2 years, and then Joel goes out, and you kind of know your role, and everybody kind of know where they are, who they are, and you make all of that has something to do with it. On top of it being a new staff with new direction, new offense, new defense, new principles. So that's all new. So things are being figured out on the go with moving pieces. So I think it's a combination of all of that. So it's hard to my opinion, it's hard to just pinpoint one thing. But that being said, we still have enough that the record should probably be closer to 500 than where we are right now. I Bleav that with the guys that we have, it should be closer to a 500 team. Because otherwise, you're saying, well, I mean, that's what we should more of a 500 team. If we can go in and we can, who's the teams we beat the Clippers there? We've beaten who? Did we beat Milwaukee or whoever? No, we beat some more other good teams.
Dallas.
Without Joel. We beat the Mavericks
Dallas,
on the road.
The Knicks. Cleveland.
The Knicks. Cleveland. Come on, man. We're beating playoff teams.
Cleveland twice.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can win those games, you can't tell me you shouldn't be closer to being a 500 team.
Yeah. Especially when at first I expected an adjustment to playing style without Joel. I expected us to level off a little bit eventually and just start kind of playing better. Like you've seen, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, when a guy's in and out of lineup, I feel like it's harder for that team to readjust because the guy constantly comes back and it's like, okay, oh, we're back to playing with that guy again. Okay, now we're not. No, different game. Now it's back to him again. But when he's out for extended period of time, there should just be a time of readjustment, and then they should kind of like level out and get their footing and learn how to play without that guy. But it seems like we haven't even after all this time. Yeah. And with the exception of Joel's early career, just missing the entire season, it's the second most games he's missed in a season too. So besides that year that you talked about, I think he's currently sitting at 34 games missed. The next highest is the 2016-17 season where he missed 51. Our record that year was 16-35, which is terrible. But that was a process team. Like they literally weren't supposed to win. They were trying to lose, and we almost had the same winning percentage as that team. Like think about that for a second. A team that was outwardly trying to tank to get like Ben Simmons, I think, right? That was the year we tanked to get Ben. Oh no, that was the year that Ben was injured all season, right?
Yeah, because that was the Fultz year, maybe.
And we got Fultz. We tanked to get Fultz. That's what it was. So either way, we were still tanking to like when he was out to get a better pick. So like it's just crazy that team trying to lose is almost doing as well as a team that's trying to up their seeding in the playoffs. I just think every other team I've looked at, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, they all hovered around 500. I think it was 11-8, 8-10, 11-12, 10-8, 6-8. So a couple games over or under it. Does that mean the supporting cast isn't as good as it's been in other years? I mean, maybe. I just think it's you touched on it already. It's a combination of a few factors. Maxi's not a consistent number one yet. Probably even closer to a 2 or a 3, depending on, how top heavy your roster is. Tobias is not a number 2. I don't even know if he's a number 3 at this point. He might just be not on a really good team. Tobias is probably a good number 4 on a really, really, really good team, I think, is what he is. Or a number 3 on a not elite team. Like that's just because he has been our number 3 on a He's been our number 3. Actually, on a lot of these teams, he's been our number 4, and we still haven't gone far. So I'm not blaming him for that. There's a lot of guys that need that blame to go around our previous seasons. But the facts are the facts. He has been our number 4 on the Simmons teams, on the James Harden team, 3/4. So when you're playing with a number 2 as your number 1, and you're playing with a number 3.5 as your number 2, on top of the facelift in midseason, on top of a brand new coaching staff, it's combine that with, and this maybe should be another different topic, but combine that with maybe our coaching staff not knowing how to utilize Buddy, because Buddy hasn't pulled together a consistent couple games since he's been here. Maybe that's why he's jumped around it from team to team, but I just feel like maybe we only acquired him to be with Joel, but without Joel, it looks like they have no idea how to utilize him on the court, which is disappointing because I think he can be of use with or without Joel. Yes, I think he's better off with Joel. I think he's tailor-made for Joel, but it doesn't mean without him, like, we don't know how to use him. So that's disappointing too. But yeah, I'm just hoping I'm expecting for him to look consistently useful with Embiid, but because without him, he just doesn't have a place right now. Anyway, that's my rant.
Eric, what do you think about the Buddy stuff? Because that is something that I've noticed too. Because his first few games with us, he actually was pulling together some really good numbers, and then all of a sudden, we start to. It seems like we don't know how to use him anymore. It's really odd.
Yeah, we were down players. We were down players, and his minutes were up, and he was kind of playing free. We were down players. Now, when you get those players back, and then we bring in Kyle, now all of a sudden things have changed. Like the way we play has changed. We play to Kyle Lowry's pace now, because when Kyle came, now Maxi's playing more off the ball. That's going to be less for somebody, and Buddy Hield, I think, is the guy that is impacting the most.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to look at that.
I didn't expect them to play Kyle and start him and play him as much as they're doing. I didn't. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect that.
Do you anticipate Buddy's role to grow, like the Teja mentioned, like being a great person to be with Embiid?
That right there. I do believe he could be a great person with Embiid, Joel, but I believe he could be a great person with the team that we have right now. You have to call plays for him if you want to utilize him. If you want him to be a spot-up shooter, that's better fitted for Joel.
Yes.
But otherwise, if you want him to have a bigger impact on your team right now with this group, you have to call sets and plays for him. And not just the pick and roll and giving the ball. Like you have to you got to draw up some real plays and real sets and off screens and let him kind of get into a rhythm of how he's playing. Almost the same way, the Philly used JJ. But, how many times is he coming off screens and shooting? Like you have to have some action like that. So I don't even know whether he's a better shooter, Go ahead. You go ahead.
I would say without Kyle, 34.4 minutes a game, 13 shots a game, 42% from 3, 16 points a game. Since Kyle, now some of these are games that Kyle Lowry missed, but overall, since Kyle, 23 minutes a game, 9.6 field goal attempts a game, 35% from 3, and 10 points per game. Those are big splits, man.
There you go. They played him different.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played him different.
Crazy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when Embiid comes back to see if they use Buddy more so with Embiid being there. And obviously what Eric says is correct. I mean, he'd be great with Embiid, but like he obviously has skill enough to do stuff without Embiid as well. And obviously we've seen that in the numbers you just mentioned, Teja, before Lowry got there. I mean, he was playing really well before Lowry got there.
Yeah. Seemed like a good rhythm.
And his assist numbers were pretty high too. That was also something that I was surprised. His playmaking ability. He actually was brought some playmaking ability.
He was able because he was we were going to him and making him. He was a part of us making things happen when guys out, and it's when even campaign. When Kyle came, that they took that responsibility away from him and gave it to Kyle for Kyle to be who he is, and now Maxey is more off the ball than he ever was this year, besides when he played with James. But when he played with James, Maxey knew that's what he did. That's who he was. With primary ball handler in. So you're not going to have any playmaking for anybody else. The campaign comes in, he's a primary ball handler if they aren't in the game. So there's no room for Buddy to be anything but a catch and shoot guy, and we don't run plays for him. Mm-hmm. That's how your numbers go down, and then your minutes go down. That's how it happens. Now I'm not in the locker room to know like what's their belief on why to do that, but like Teja said, the numbers are there. It's been a decrease. So if you play less and you got less opportunities, we can't expect you to score more.
Yeah. I had high hopes for Nick Nurse, all the stuff, all the things people said, he can draw plays better than anybody. Let's give Buddy some looks here, Nick.
Yeah.
Pass the ball from one side to the other side, all this stuff, and we can't get some plays in for Buddy. I mean, I don't know.
I will say we're 9-13 since we got Buddy, so that's closer to the Embiid numbers we were talking about that we were expecting, closer to 500 at least.
Yeah,
that's more like it.
Yes.
Outside of that, I mean, I have to look and see what the numbers are, but
do you know what the numbers are since Lowry's joined the squad? I'm not trying to make any kind of comparison there, but I'm just curious what our win-loss with Lowry is.
He played that game too, so hold on.
Well, his first game was that Knicks game.
Yeah. Games he's played in 1, 2, 3, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, 2 and 5, 2 and 6, 2 and 7, 2 and 8, 2 and 9, 2 and 10, 3 and 10, 4 and 10, 5 and 10. 5 and 10.
Okay, so yeah. 9-13 for Buddy, 5-10 for him. So, about 5 and 4 to 5 losses there between the two of them. Under 500. Yeah. I mean, hopefully when Embiid comes back, everything's solved with these rotations and stuff. But yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna go to our final topic here. We got the Clippers and Sixers rematch Wednesday night, 7:30 on ESPN. James Harden comes back home to Philadelphia. Spread's not out yet for this game. I anticipate they're gonna be coming out hard after getting dominated at home on Sunday when Teja was in attendance. Who do you guys have in this one Wednesday night on ESPN?
I think we get them again. I think we beat them again. I think this game on this road trip, I think we win the game.
Decisive victory like the game on Sunday, Eric, or is it going to be closer? More of a grinded out kind of game?
I think it'll be a little closer. I think we'll pull away in the fourth quarter, but it'll be a little closer.
Tej, what do you have, buddy?
I want to revise those Buddy stats. They're not. I took some games that he played with Kyle, but he played 5 games before Kyle got there. Actually, his numbers are even better. He scored 20 points in every single game he played.
Wow.
Before we got him. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he averaged like 23 a game. But anyway, and like 7 assists a game too. By the way,
The playmaking was top tier.
45% from 3. So yeah. Anyway, I know. He was just they were just playing a different way. Eric's completely right. Like Maxey was soaking up attention and just kicking out to a buddy, and a buddy was hitting like open threes for the most part.
Come on, Nick. Do your thing, man.
But I don't think we're gonna win. I think Clippers are like in like the desperation I thought they would have in the game in LA. I think they're gonna have this game. And on top of that, you got the rematch factor. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as the New York Knicks rematch where we beat them at New York when they came back and beat us by like 27. But I think they're gonna beat us pretty bad. What you have this? You say the spread? Is there a spread for this game?
It's not out yet.
Yeah, because they probably don't know who's going to play for them on the LA side. But yeah, I think they beat us double dig.
Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Simmons' first game in Philadelphia, he didn't play that game, but they dominated us pretty good that game.
Yeah,
that was the game where he wore it looked like a Pittsburgh Penguins jersey on the sideline. Yeah. It wasn't that. I think it was a Louis Vuitton shirt, but it looked like a Pittsburgh Penguins hockey jersey. So we'll see if we can break the return streak when the guy comes back in town to beat him. But yeah. All right, fellas. Well, that does it for us. We hope everybody enjoyed the episode. We hope everybody enjoys their Sweet 16 games Thursday this week, and hopefully everyone can continue to stay in the March Madness brackets going for another week and not be like Teja and be sitting at home not watching.
Get out of here.
All right, fellas.
All right, take it easy.